Hello everyone, and this is like a really silly tutorial because I was kind of bored. I'm waiting for Houdini 20.5 to be released. So I kind of so the reason for this tutorial was like I'm watching the Forbidden Planet, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try and model Robbie the robot, but Robbie the robot is a fair bit of work. So I said, okay, I'll model the raygun. Okay, and when 20.5 comes out, I can give this thing UVs and we can use the new cop stuff to do texturing on it. So that could be useful. Okay, so if you don't know what the new cop stuff is, check out the Houdini 20.5 keynote. It's on YouTube. That will give you enough idea. Okay, so I'm going to start off by just duplicating this line. And we'll build it up from here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to build the body. Okay, so I've given this some points. And what I'm going to do is I'll just take an attribute just float. And we'll call it, let's say, body shape. And just give it some color. And I want to give it like some shape, but that will have to be based on, we can use like the curve view. So before we do the body shape, just take a resample node. In the resample node, don't like turn off all of this stuff, just calculate the curve view. Okay, like that's it. So now you can take this and we'll just give it some shape. Okay, so I'll just set it to always. We are currently modifying the P scale, but then we'll use the P scale to modify the actual shape of the line. Okay, so I'm going to take this, set it to remap attribute, and I'll set both of these to, let's do like B-spline for both these points. And it will remap based on curve view. Yeah, so the source attribute will be curve view. And let's just give it some shape. So let's get this high, and then I'll have a point here, and then it sort of goes down. So let's say something like this. And now I want the line to be deformed in this shape. Okay, so I can just take a wrangle node and I can transfer the P scale to the Y axis. So just take at P dot Y is equal to at P scale. And there you go. So that's what you'll get. Okay, so I can just take this and maybe we can lower it a bit, so maybe we can adjust. So this gives me like the ability to just shape it any which way I want. Okay, so the next step is to give it the actual shape. So just take a revolve, and you can also take another resample here if you want to smoothen it out or something. So I can just take a resample here. Let's keep it slightly low. So what we can do is we can turn it, we can use like subdivision, surfaces to model this. So I can just take this, plug in the revolve, and this will be in the X axis. And there you go. Okay, so we get this. And then I just want to cap it. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to take this and I can take a polycap. Let me just set this to, yeah. Okay, so the first thing also is we need to reverse this. So just come in here and do reverse cross sections. And then I can just take polycaps, do a polyfill. And we can set this to quadrilateral fan. And if you want, we can give it like a slight offset. Okay, so you'll get this. And so the advantage now is that I can actually just, if I come into my shape and make some adjustments, see. So we can actually like, adjust the body any which way we want. Okay. Okay, so we'll just keep this like this for now. And then I can just take a subdivide. And there you go. That's my basic shape. Okay, so I can just increase this. Okay, so this is fine. Now the next step is, like, if you want this to be like a little lesser, we can, I can just take this and adjust both these things, like how much I want. Okay, so the next step is, let's say we want like the barrel in the front, like this is the body. Okay, so I'll just take another line. So let's duplicate this. We'll call it barrel shape. And this needs to be copied to the front of, this line, like that's my front. Okay, so I'm going to take a range. So take a group by range. Okay, let's move it further away from this. So I'll take a group by range. Let's keep it to this side. So this can be here. Yeah. And yeah, this comes, no, before the P scale. Okay, so put this here and I'll get end to 1, set this to points and I'll call it end. And then come down here and just say invert range. And then do a copy. So do copy to points. And this will be end. And I can just plug this in over here. And there you go. So we have the barrel in the front. If we want, we can also do one thing with the, like if I want the edges to be a little bit sharper. So I can just come in here to my polyfill and we can add an extra loop in there. Okay, so this gives me, see, you can sort of make it really sharp like that. Yeah, so that's not bad actually. Okay. Okay, so now with this, I can just take a sweep and we can adjust this. So just take the sweep and we'll set it to round tube. And what we want is not this, like we'll modify the shape. So come to the barrel shape and let's keep it like this and a little bit smaller. Yeah, maybe we can go bigger, but let's take that and then we can take, squeeze it down. And I don't want the line to be this big, so let's make it smaller. Okay, like all of this will be adjustable, so that's the good thing, like you can adjust this any which way you want. Like maybe I can take this and make it, and the sweep I'll just give it, like 20 segments, and I can just set this to single polygon. Or yeah, grid is, no, actually, let's just keep it to single polygon. Okay, because I'll just put like a sphere in the front. So do the same thing, like I can take this Control-C, Control-V, and I can put this here. And so again, we're selecting the endpoint, and let's just make a sphere, and we'll do, yeah, just do Control-C, Control-V. So take this, and there you go. So we have like a sphere at the end, and I'll just set this to like x-axis, yeah. And let's take a look at it with this. Yeah, okay, this is good. So if I just, let's make it slightly smaller and we can merge everything together. And there you go. So this is like the basic body. I'm going to turn off the UVs for now. We'll work with those later. Or I'll work with those like when I, come back to this once 20.5 is released, then I can, make that. So the advantage is that like if you, whatever shape you want of this, like we can just, like if I want to flip this, you can make it like that, or, whatever you want, you can actually just model the, yeah, I think that actually looks better. Let's keep that. Okay. So whatever shape you want, you can sort of just adjust it. Okay. Now the next step is I want like some rings here and some, like some rings on the main body as well. So let's take care of the main body first. Okay, so I'll just take this and this is where, so the P scale is important because then when we add like rings on top, they will scale based on the shape of the body, because the shape of the body is also being driven by P scale, right? So I'll just take a circle and I can do a copy to points. Now I want to copy it to all of these. So if you like look at it now, see the shape is, no, we just need to adjust it. Yeah, so you'll see like this shape is almost exactly like this shape, like, see. Okay, so that's the nice advantage, but we don't want so many. So what we'll do is, I'll take a carve and I'll chop it up to how much I want. So let's say we want like from here to maybe like there. Okay, and then I can put another resample on it. And maybe we can just we can precisely define. So let's say I want like four circles on this, and yeah, I think 12 sides is okay. And I can just we'll take a sweep, and what I'll do is I'm going to take a grid. Let's keep it to 1 by 1, and this will be 2 by 2. Let's plug this in and see what we're getting, because I'm never, yeah, so keep this to XY plane and then make it small till everything sort of fits. See, so the advantage is, see, like if as you adjust the curve, they'll automatically adjust based on the P scale value. Okay, but what I want to do is I want like let's make it slightly taller, but I also want them slightly tapered. Okay, so I can just take this, the grid that I have, and I'll put in a taper on it. So we'll put in like a linear taper, and then just press B, yeah, and then just take the taper value and we can taper it. So that should, it's tapering. Okay, so come back to the linear taper, like it should taper in the other direction. So press M and that will flip the axis. So now if we come in here, see, so now what's happening is it's tapering the top. And I can merge it with the main body and then plug that into the subdivide. Okay, so it's reversed. So come to the sweep and we'll do like reverse cross section. I'll also do one more thing. We can make it slightly thicker, like here. Yeah, and make it slightly taller. What I can also do is with the polygon, right? I can take a bevel. So let's take a poly bevel, and I can just bevel the points a little bit. Yeah, like so. This should give me a slightly better result. Yeah, there you go. So I can come in here now and I can adjust, whatever I want. So like where they should be. You could also make like an old 50s rocket with this if you wanted to. Okay, so another thing you can do is we can also, like, if you want additional control on top of this, like maybe they should be slightly more bigger, smaller, or you want to make additional adjustments to the shape, I can duplicate my body shape and I can put it in here, and I can set this to maybe like add. So see, it's now adding to that, or we can set it to multiply. No, multiply is a bad idea. Okay, like we can do this. Yeah, but then I can just take this and like adjust it any which way we want. So this can be like slightly bigger and those can be slightly smaller. So you can sort of make more changes to it if you want. Yeah, if you just push it out a little too much, just make sure that your grid size gets a little bit bigger. Otherwise it will sort of like extend out of the body. But there you go. So you can sort of make additional adjustments if you want to do that. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's model like if you look at the ray gun here. Yeah, so it's got like this stuff in the front. Yeah, that one. So you can see like it has like these discs on the main barrel. So let's make that, which is sort of this, but with a slight difference to it. So I'll just come here to my line. Yeah, which is this guy. Or actually no, after the copy to point. And we kind of want to do the same thing. So I'll just pick up this scarf, do Control-C, Control-V. And I can plug that in here. And how much do we want? So let's keep that much. And then again, we'll do a resample because I just want to specify like how many do I want. So let's keep this to 6. I think 6 should be fine. And what we want is sort of like these discs which sort of go backwards. Like if you look at this, then you have like the disc here, but it sort of, like goes backwards like that. So I'll pick up this circle again. Let's do Control-C, Control-V and plug that in. So we get this. Okay, like if I look at it with that, there it is. It's too big. Okay, so what we want to do is make it small, or actually no, put like a transform here, and then we can scale it down. Okay, and we want another set that will go backwards. Okay, so we'll do Control-C, Control-V. This will be big, and this will come in here. Okay, except that these have to go slightly back. So I can just take this and move it back like that. So if you look at both of them, see we have like something like this. But now we want to skin them. So we want to skin like each circle with its larger, counterpart. So the way we can do that is we can put it into like a name attribute, and then those names transfer to these circles via the copy, and then we can do a for each on it. Okay, so the way to do that is pretty simple. Just right click here and take an enumerate. So just take enumerate and set this to points, and we'll call the attribute as name, and the type will be string. And if you'll notice here, so this will transfer automatically, you'll have like a name attribute. But for it to work, the only thing we need to do is we need to make sure that this is at primitive level. Okay, so just take an attribute promote. So take an attribute promote, and we'll set this from points to primitive, and we want to go name. Okay, and the same thing here. And then we can merge these together. Actually, we can just do one of them like after the merge. That should also be fine. And now if I pick up a for each named primitive, you'll see like you're left with like 2 of these. Okay, because each name is basically corresponding to the point number. So whatever point number, this has been copied to, those become connected. Okay, and then I can just come in here and I can do a skin. And what you'll end up getting is this. There you go. Okay, so I can just take this and let's merge it with this and see what we get. This might be too big. Yeah. Okay, so just come down here to these guys and make them really tiny. And you can move these back or forward, like however much you want. There you go. See. And then I can just give them a thicken. So let's just do labs thicken, which is too much, but actually that's not bad. But yeah, we don't want it that much. So just keep it like this. Okay, that's not bad. You can probably do like a pine tree like this as well. Okay. And we can just come in here if you want to sort of like, make adjustments to this. I can sort of come in here, see. Yeah, maybe like this should go all the way from here to there. Yeah, make the sphere slightly bigger. So the advantage is that you can make, as many adjustments as you want. It is fairly procedural. Okay, so this is done. Now let's make the handle. So the handle should be relatively simple. What we want is, I want the middle line. So I want this guy. But we don't need the p scale or anything. I just want a point on it where we can connect the handle. Okay, so I'm going to take, another resample on this. And this can just be, like we'll bring it down to like 2 points. Okay, and then take a refine. And this defines like where we'll call it the handle point. Yeah, so this point is defining, like, can I make, I'll just make it slightly bigger. Yeah. Should I go to a light gray background? Yeah, okay, that's easier to see. Yeah, so you can sort of like, adjust it where you want it to be. And let's just take a group. So just take a standard group. And this is point number 2. Okay, so we'll just set it to 2 and set this to points, and we'll call it handle PT. And now I can just take a line which will go downwards. So we'll do like a -1, and we'll do copy to points, and it'll copy to handle PT and just connect it. And we'll also put a transform here. So I can just take this and I can, kind of rotate it. So if I look at it with this, see, we have our handle. Okay, so that's my handle. Okay, so now I can just model the basic handle. So let's take a grid again. So I'll just take a grid, and this will be like 1 by 1 and 2 by 2. And then I'll take a poly bevel. And set it to points and just, adjust it a bit. And then I can do a sweep. Sorry, this should be on the XY plane. So we put in a sweep, and there you go. This is too big. So let's just visualize our body. Yeah, okay. This is like huge. So this is fine, and then, small enough. Yeah, I think this is good. And maybe we can round this a little bit. Okay, so I can just come in here into my sweep, and I can just give it like a single polygon, so that will fill it up, and also do reverse cross section. Now, one thing that you can do to shape it is, this will be slightly complex. If you want to shape it, let's say, like if you look at the gun, then the back is like a little more shaped and the front is mostly straight, right? So what we can do is, we can calculate the curve view. So I'll do resample. Yeah, okay, so if it's flipping like this, what you want to do is come into the sweep and come to construction and set this to x-axis. So that will be fine, then it won't flip. So we'll take the resample and I will set this, I'll calculate the curve view. And then like this can't be done through like an attribute just float or anything. So we have to use like a wrangle. So I'll take a wrangle and instead of a scale, instead of a p scale, we can use a scale. Okay, so if I do like at scale, because a p scale is like a uniform scale, the scale value is a vector. And if we just set this, I say set and I make it, let's say 0, 1, 0. And what this will do is it will just flatten out. Okay, so we can do like 1 here. So x is controlling the width and this is controlling the depth. Okay, so y is what we want to modify. So what we'll do is I'll just come in here and I'll create a float value called y and we'll set this to chramp. Yeah, so we'll call it y, or let's call it shape, and this will use curve view. And if we click here, see, so it creates this, and in here I can just type in y. So there you go. Yeah, so the reason why it's not working is because I typed in curve and not curve view. So type in curve view. There you go. Okay, so now what you're doing is you can essentially just control the shape now. So let's also do one more thing, which is I'm going to take the shape and I'm going to push it a little to the back. So let's just take this and we can push it like that. Okay, so like where is my line? Yeah, there's my line. So what this will do is that when we shape it, see, only the back is getting shaped. The front is mostly safe. Okay, so I can just take this and then we can take the refine and move it around. So I can just refine it and push a little further. But now let's just take this. I also want, actually we need some points on this. We don't have any points on this. Yeah. So let's do this. And then I can just take that and we can now define a shape for it. So it basically, like it goes in and then out like that. So I can just take this. Let's set these both to like a B-spline. And I can, take this in and make it, like that. See, there you go. Hey, that's not bad, right? So, and maybe I can just take this and this is fine. Yeah, a little bit thinner. There you go. See, so this is a nice looking handle for the whole thing. And I also want to sort of like bevel the bottom of this a little bit. So just take a group node and we want to group edges. We'll call it bevel. And I will group by, do include edges and we'll include angle. Just increase it till you only have like the top and bottom. And then we can bevel that. So just do poly bevel. And we'll call this bevel. Yeah. And then just increase this. Yeah. So if I merge it with this somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Actually, yeah, that looks nice. Like we can try to push take this line and just move it down a little bit. Like I can just take a transform here. Like in the same transform, I can just take this and maybe like just move it down a little bit. Yeah, I think this is good. There you go. See, so I can actually move it around and then you can place it further away or closer to the front. Yeah, that doesn't look bad at all actually. Yeah. I hadn't done this with my original file, but this, and we can call this as shape and give it some color. So we can just I can take this and move it out a little bit like that, and this can come in here. And we can put in a few more points if you want this to be, I can just come in here and make a few more points. So yeah, so if the line, if it goes too far, then it shapes the front as well. But if it's at the back, then it sort of shapes it like this, which is not bad. Which is actually better than, what we wanted. Okay, so this is good. Okay, so this is good. Now the last thing we want to do is I want to put in like a trigger, and then we want like a trigger guard. So what I can do let's do the trigger guard first, because the trigger, if you look on this, it's just like a button. Like if you look here, see, it's just a button, like it's just that. So this is fine. Okay, so first I'll make the trigger guard. It doesn't have one, but we'll make one. So what I can do is I want the back line like this guy, and we want to set a point on that and then a point here, and then those will connect. So what I'll do is I'll take this guy. Let's do a refine. So first let's do a resample and we'll get rid of all the points that this has. So I'll just take this, I'll set it to like maximum segments to 1. So the refine gives me like where I want. So this is where my trigger handle, like the trigger guard will be. And yeah, let's just, we can just duplicate this. So just do, like Control C, Control V. This comes in here. And we'll call this group as mid. And then we want to do the same thing with the main line, which is this guy, right? So let's do like Control C, Control V. And this comes in here. So this has to go a little further ahead over there. Okay, so what I want to do is, let's just say we want a line coming down here. So I can just take a line like this, and it has to point in the X direction. And we'll do copy to points. Yeah, maybe push this down. So this comes in here, that goes in there. This will be mid. So this is fine. And then the rest is actually pretty simple. So I can just take this, and where is this point coming in? So we just want to keep this. So let's say, so we have 2 points here, and then we have a third point on top. So it should just connect that. Okay, so let's take an add node, or let's take a blast, and we're going to get rid of everything except the mid. So just do like points and delete non-selected. So we have that. And then if we merge these together, so let's say, like if you look at this, then this is 0, 1, and then 2. So this comes in first, and then this comes in second. So we have like 0, 0, 1, and 2. And then take an add node. And the add node, we just say delete geometry, and then come to polygons and by group. And there you go. So if you look at it, here, you have your trigger guard, okay, except, yeah, we'll have to sort of adjust it because we pushed the shape back, right? So this has to go further back. So let's take a transform, and we can just push it back. Like we can do that much manually. There you go. Yeah, okay. So now take the refine on this, and this pushes here. And then the line length can be adjusted. And then this refine decides like how high or low it will be. And now we can do a couple of things. So I can just take a resample here, and then like keep it slightly low like that. And then take another resample, and we can set this to subdivision curves. And then we can just increase the number of points. So there you go. And then we can do a sweep. So just take a sweep, and I can take a grid here and the same stuff. So I'll just adjust this to like that. Okay, needs to be smaller still. Yeah, so just take this, and this can be, we'll do like single polygon, and I can merge it with this. I can probably pick up the group and like duplicate these. So just do like Control C, Control V, plug them in here, and just, like, don't need that. Just lower this. Yeah, make sure you reverse the sweep. So we can merge it, and there you go. So now I can adjust it. Like I can take this refine and push it a little further. I can take the line and make that a little bit longer. See. And this resample can define it more. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now the only thing left is to add like a button on this. And then if you want it deeper or something, like if you want to make it really fancy, see, I can go all the way down like this, which is, actually that doesn't look bad. We can do something like this, which is fine. Okay, so then, so the only thing left is like just having like a dot over there, which is, I can duplicate this, like let's just take that much, all of this. We'll do Control C, Control V. And, disconnect this, and let's just take a sphere, and I can just plug that in. Let's keep this to, let's keep it to polygon. We can just increase that and just make it Yeah, and just adjust where you want it to be, and just move it, you know, back in the x-axis. Yeah, there you go. Or you can do anything, right? Like you want to model, you know, like a bigger trigger, or you want to have like a proper, like a curved thing. That's, you know, you can do those things. You know, that shouldn't be too problematic with this. And we can merge it into that. Let's just give it some color. So let's make this like red or something. There you go. And we can, you know, adjust that a little bit. Yeah, this is actually better than the one that I had modeled. Okay, as a last thing, let's say we want like a fin on top. Okay, because like if you look at mine, there's like a fin on top of it. You know, like, where are you? There you go. So it's got like this fin. So what I can do is, if you want to make that fin, I can just take, let's take the baseline after the shape. So this guy, you know, this is, sorry, not this one. Okay, let's call this Y shape. I'm really bad with naming this stuff. And let's just color this. Okay, let's do an object merge, because now we have like too much stuff going on. So let's take an object merge and like drop this in here. Let's do Control X and come here. We'll do Control V. Okay, so this will be my fin. So what I want to do is pretty simple. Just take a carve and we can carve this, you know. So let's keep this here. Let's keep it almost all the way to the back. Now I want this to extrude to like a flatter shape. So what I'll do is I'm just going to take a transform, and let's also put a resample here, so we can have like a uniform set of points. Yeah, okay. And let's just take this, and the pivot should be there. Okay, so let's just take this and we'll have $x max, so it goes there, and then $y max, so it comes in here. And then take the y-axis, make it 0, so it'll just flatten out. Okay, and then we can rotate it a little bit, and then we can also scale it out. And then if we merge these two together, so we merge like this guy and this guy, and I can also probably like move it up slightly. Yeah, and if we skin them, see, we get that. Okay. So if I merge it with this, let's give this some color as well. Okay. Now the only thing is, like, because this has subdivision geometry and this doesn't, it won't exactly match. So just push it down. You know, like, you don't need to do anything too fancy. Just take a transform here and just push it down till it goes inside that. So we can take this, and then we can, like, either you can just keep it completely flat, which isn't a bad idea, or we can take a poly extrude or a thicken. So let's just take a thicken and do both directions and make it like 0.02, so it's fairly thin. Okay. And then I can just take we can take a taper. So take a linear taper and press like B. Yeah, and then press M, so it's tapering to the top. And what we want is, we have to decide which axis. So yeah, so only affect the y-axis. So see, so it sort of flattens out like this. And I can just take it, make it thinner still. And then let's do poly bevel on this if we can. Yeah, so let's do like Control C, Control V, and plug it in there. Let's do one thing. Let's plug it in before the taper. Yeah, see, so we have like, you know, something like this without the rounding. Don't do the rounding. What's the group like? Yeah, okay, I think this is fine. Let's just take this and like, how much should we, like, just a little bit. Yeah, I think this is fine. And then we do the taper. So it gives it like, you know, it's like slightly better in shape. And if we come in here to the transform, and let's say we don't flatten it out, let's say we make it like 0.2, so you'll get, see, it has a slight bit of curve to it, which is not bad. Yeah. So let's say if I make it like 0.5, see, so it has this nice little arch to the whole thing. And then we can take a resample and we can sort of like increase the points. Like if I take this to like 0.04, so it is like, you know, better in shape. And Yeah, there you go. That's the whole thing. Actually, that's not bad. This is much better than my first attempt. And you can adjust this, right? So because we're just doing a carve here, we can just adjust it, big or small or whatever we want. See, so this isn't bad at all. And because it's just a simple circle, I can also do this. I can take a transform, and let's say if we take this and we rotate it in the x-axis by, let's say, like -30. And then I can take a copy and transform, and I can just do like rotate it by 30. See, and we can make like 3 copies of this. So that actually looks, that doesn't look too bad either. So we can do stuff like this. Or we can go like more. Nah, that doesn't look too good. Okay, so 3 is fine. So whatever is the value here, is how much you want to keep it there. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, 45 looks better. Yeah. Okay, so as I said, so this is it. So this is the ray gun. So, but as I said, what I would like to do is once 20.5 gets released, I'll do UVs on this, and then we can, try to texture it using the new cops. So that should be fun. Okay, so I'll see you when 20.5 comes out.